So this video is going to be about putting an air source heat pump on a koi pond. So this is the air source heat pump I'm going to be doing. It's a Duratech 7 Plus. Nice little heat pump. Now, I have other air source heat pumps that heat my house and that. Them I wouldn't dream of installing myself. They're very complicated. They require gas and refrigerant gas to be piped in and all sorts of stuff. I won't mess about with that. This does not. It's all self-contained. There's nothing really for me to mess about with. It's just literally like installing any standard heater. You just put power to it and water to it and it heats your water like that. So I'm actually going to put this cable on it for now, just so I can get it wired up. This is 4mm cable. It's well overkill. It's just something I've got and I plan to use. It's actually a 6 amp. You can see on here. Max current is 6.4 amps. So it'd be quite acceptable to put it on a 1.5mm cable really, but you probably want to stick to 2.5mm at minimum. But I'm putting it on 4, never mind. So what do you do to wire it up? Well, there's a little screw in here that I've already took off. See, that little screw goes under there. You literally just take that off, and then this little control unit just slides down like that, and then you just connect live, neutral and earth into there, and then the cable just goes up through the grommets at the bottom. You can also wire it up to your pump if you wish, but I'm not going to be doing that because I want to be running the pump 24/7, and maybe the heater might not be required all the time, say in summer, or if I decide not to heat it. And then the plumbing part of it, so you get an 1.5" thread fitting to go into here, and I'm going to be putting these on. It comes, when you get it, comes with a little cap on it just to protect things from going in there, and there's not really to see in there. This one has the flow sensor in it. I don't know whether the camera can see, but there's a little black thing in there. That's the flow sensor, and you can just see a bit of coil. And that, I don't know, that's the one with the flow sensor in it. Ah yeah, there's the flow sensor. Little black, there we go. Little black thing, and then that's the one with the coil in it. But you can just see the bottom of the coil. It actually smells like there's a bit of either chlorine in it or some sort of antifreeze in it, because there will have been tested at the thing. You can see the wet. So I'm going to wash it out. I'm going to just wash some fresh water through it before I plumb it up to the pond. But yeah, there we go. It comes with these end caps, or a different type. It comes with a different type of end cap to this, but similar to this one. And I've just got the one that fits on a rubber boot a bit better, so that I can just use the rubber boots to plumb it all up for ease, really. But there you go. So I've just put a bit of wiring on that. There we go. It's probably not the best wiring I've ever done, but it looks alright. It won't explode anytime soon. And that's just a case of putting that on. And that. I may change this cable to something that's not, blue, because it's a bit ugly later on, but for now it's just going to stay blue. And there you go. This heater, actually, you could literally just plug it in. So if you wanted to, you could just put cable, put a plug socket on the end of it. This particular one is just not high amperage as the other versions. Like I said, this is the 7, so it's the smallest in the range. If you perhaps go to bigger ones, if you've got a bigger pond, then you might not be able to plug it in anymore. Might be using bigger and thicker cables and that sort of thing. But this one is alright to plug in, but I'm not going to plug it in, depending on how I actually meter the electric going into it, because I want to monitor what electric it uses, so I can sort of figure out how much it's actually costing to run, which I might put in another video later on, but we'll see. There we go, that's that. So I've just put a concrete slab down for it to sit on and levelled it up, because the floor sloped slightly and I wanted this to be level. And then I've drilled 2 holes in there, and I've just sort of lined up these pipe works so I know what I'm doing and know where things need to be cut. And now I just need to mount the little feet, so we're good with feet, and then take this panel off and sort the pipe work out underneath. There we go, that's that bit of pipe work done. Hopefully I've measured it correctly so that these just fit through the holes in the wood and then go straight onto the heater, which will be here. So this bottom one here is the input and this one is the output. So what happens is, or how it's plumbed up, is it comes from the pump here, over here, and then if this ball valve were open and this one were closed, it would come down here and straight down here and back to the pond. Or if this one's closed like it is now and this one's open, it comes across down there and then runs along there to the input side of the heater, and then the output side comes back down there, and there's a T at the bottom of that ball valve so that the output can then just go straight back to the pond. So if I turn that one off, it stops the flow to the heater, and turn that one on like so, it bypasses the heater, so the water's now just going straight to the pond and not going to the heater. Or what I probably will do is open that fully like that and then just close that one a bit like that, just to balance the flow to the heater, so some of the water pressure is relieved that way and some of it goes that way. Because this is a 10,000 litre an hour pump, I'm not sure it wants a full 10,000 litres an hour going through the heater. I'll have to find out exactly what it wants, and we'll sort that out later on. So there you go, that's the pipe work bit sorted out. You can see them all well insulated. Going under there, and the duct tape's been put on the corners just to hold the corners together and insulate the bends. There you go, let's get the wall on, get the heater on. So I'm just going to plumb this up. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put a rubber on there and then that's going to screw in there like that. But first of all I'm going to put a bit of PTFE on it, because I'm not a really big fan of threaded joints, to be honest, and I always find that you can't really go wrong when you use PTFE on them. You're probably supposed to, but it's quite a slack joint actually this, so I'm going to go quite a bit on it, make it nice and tight. Like that. Oops. That goes on there. Yeah, see, that's nice, smooth joint there. There we go. I might not nip it up any more than that. I think that rubber's quite tight. If I tighten that up any more, it'll end up pushing that rubber out. So there you go, I'll just do the same to the other one. There we go, I've got both of them on. So I've only hand tightened them as tight as I can get them, which is fairly tight anyway. But it saves you cracking out inside the heater, and you know that if you feel inside it hasn't gone right to the end anyway. So we should be good. But if it does leak, because it's only a rubber boot that I'm putting on there, if it does leak I can just loosen the rubber boot and nip it up later on, but I don't think it will. And that's a good idea when you're doing pumps with threaded pieces on as well. Don't go tightening up like crazy, because eventually you will just crack the casing of the pump. Just sort of make it so you can nip it up later on if it leaks, and you know, I've put plenty of PTFE on it, so I know that that's not a problem, and it's got a rubber gasket on, so can't see that going anywhere. So let's attach it to them pipes now and fit it to its concrete slab. So there we go, that's the heater in place and mounted to its base. I just screwed it down to this slab. It actually comes with this washer and a rubber washer underneath that attached to packaging, so I use them, and then it comes with these feet as standard. So there you go, that's it mounted. I've also plumbed it up. I did try to insulate this as plumbing it up, but I couldn't get these rubber joints on and that, so I ended up taking insulation off to put it all together, and I'll just wrap something around it in a bit. It doesn't matter too much because you won't be able to see it, because I'm going to put a cover over here like so at some point. So now it's just a case of wiring it up and fill it pond up with water, trying it. There we go, get back to you now. So we're finally ready to fire up this heater. Take that off it. I've got the system plugged in to this electricity monitor, which is currently reading pretty much 80 watts, which is the pump. So the pump on the system uses 80 watts. There should be some water flowing through here. Can't really feel out. But what I've done is open both of these valves. So hopefully that balances it out, and half pretty much is going around the heater and half's just making its way straight back. But we'll see, because if there isn't enough flow rate it wouldn't fire up anyway. So let's put power to the heater. So the heater is this one. Oh, I heard it beep. It's also fitted an electricity monitor to the heater, which is just starting up there on 0. See that? There we go, all zeros. So I can monitor exactly how much the heater costs to run. And I might make another video on that later. So it were on 80, it's come up 10 watts for the heater on standby, which is fine. So let's see, this isn't optimal. Let's see if we can get it. It says off on the screen. You can read that. Off. Let's turn it on. 55. No idea what that means. I should always read the instruction book before using these things. Right, what we're on? We're set to cool. So let's set to heat. Oh, 5.5. I wonder if that's what it is now. Crikey, that's cold. Let's have a... just firing up. Let's see. Timer on, timer off, clock. Flow. There's not enough flow to it. That's a shame. So what I need to do now is turn that off. Which way do we go? No, I ain't sure. Put it on there. There we go. Can get flow going in. Must have had air traps in it. And she's firing back up. So we're using 165 watts. So really I think that's just the fan on. The compressor hasn't started yet. Let's just have a look, see what's in here. Oh, I heard compressor start then. There's air coming out. Yeah, that's the compressor on. So now we're using 800. Take away the 100 of the pump, or 80 of the pump, then pretty much using 700 watts. It's climbing though, steadily. Well, that rattle is. Have to find that. There we go, 9 degrees now. 9.5. 25, 10, 27, oh wait, I'm 27. Let's put it at 20. 10 degrees. Great. That's it. I'll try and find that rattle. That straight up driving me nuts. Now it's back to you. So I've had the heater on for a couple of days now, and most of the time it's been on standby, but yesterday I raised it up 1.5 degrees, which used 2 kilowatts of power according to this electric meter, and that's just something I'm going to keep an eye on and maybe do a video on later on. I'm not quite sure how relevant it'd be because I plan to heat it to 20 something degrees. And this pond is ridiculously well insulated. It was 5 degrees overnight last night, and I set it to 13.5 during day. I think it turned off at something like 7 o'clock at night. and when I came to it at 9 o'clock this morning it was still reading 13 degrees and it hadn't come on yet, because if you set it to 13.5 it comes on at 13, so it would just been getting ready to come on. And if it turns off at 14, so it's like half a degree either way. Don't know if that's a little bit much. It can be adjusted, but I'm going to put a temperature sensor directly in the water and see what the fluctuation actually is in the tank. But we'll see that later. Maybe in a future video, and I'll do it on how much power it uses. So it's currently at 13.5 degrees and it's set to 13.5. Just press the on button. There you go, it's set to 13.5 degrees. It'll turn off at 14 and then come back on at 13 degrees. So yeah. The noise of it, this camera is really sensitive, so it sounds noisier on the video, I know it does, than it does actually in real life. It's sort of comparable to a car idling, you know, a small like, petrol engine idling. It's not the loudest thing in the world, but this camera does seem to really pick it up. It does keep, it's raining in a minute, but it does keep this area wet all the time when it's running, because it's dropping condensation like all the time. So it's a pretty good heater, it seems to be really efficient. I'm quite pleased with it so far, and I'll just see how it runs. I'm going to make a cover for it and see how we get on with it. There you go. Any questions? Don't hesitate to ask, and I shall see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.